this is just a huge moment here. Oversky just lost so many things, and lots of these storms going around, killing a ton of drones. Oversky is definitely behind right now. He's lost almost all his drones. He has no drones left. He's lost his main. He's lost his natural. He's lost so many things. I don't even know how he's... Oh my god, if that storms, he is going to get owned. Okay, never mind. He does retreat. But Nara is really ahead right now. He just completely overran Oversky. I think it was a problem with Oversky not having enough hatcheries to produce enough units. You could see that he really had a lot of surplus. He made like 5,000 sunkens, but Oversky still does have the advantage of expansions. It looks like Nara is going to take us another expansion, but he only has one expansion that has minerals left in it, I believe, and Oversky is still very ahead at this point. You can see a little bit of the divide in this point of the game. Nara is taking the top portion of the map, and Oversky is taking the bottom portion of the map. And here, another attack was launched by Nara, but it's not going to be able to do much damage. You see these drones are coming back. Nara is actually trying to plan and take another expansion, but these drones can't take... It's just... I really don't know who's going to win. It's been a pretty back and forth game. Nara has been ahead, but Oversky did do some good moves that caused him to go ahead. And Nara is just taking a lot of expansions at this point. Nara is really very safe at this point because Oversky just didn't have enough units. I'm not sure if it was a problem with the hatcheries, lack of hatcheries in macro, or the upgrades or something like that. But Oversky just completely got overran by tons of units. And at this point, Nara's army is still much bigger than Oversky's. I think Oversky, if he could pull off a few successful plagues on those zealots, it'd be very beneficial, because then those zealots would have very low health. They'd only have shields, and that's less than 50% of their original health. So I have no idea how this is gonna work. Oversky does have a lot more expansions than Nara, but he's gonna be able to use he's gonna have to use his units very well if he wants to win. You can see here that I think he's lacking some gas. He has a lot of Zerglings, but not that many Ultras. And I'm not sure if this is a drop or he's just moving his overlords. But if it's a drop, it could prove very effective. We see here that a large amount of units is coming over here for Nara, and I don't know where the army is for Oversky. Oversky is having a pretty bad problem with mobility, and even more and more Reavers. These Reavers are very effective. Lots of these Archons, it's just very devastating. You see here that a counterattack is being launched, but it's really not going to be able to do much damage. Actually, it's going to be able to do a lot. That was actually a drop. This expansion is going to go down. All these probes are going to go down. This is a very nice attack over here. He's going to be able to do a lot of damage. Actually, oh my god, I'm not even quite sure. He just lost all his units to those Reavers. He did manage to kill off all those defenses, and he did manage to kill off a ton of those probes. But he's going to have to send in a few more Zerglings if he wants to kill that expansion. You see here that Nara is going to start taking out this expansion here. It's full of sunken, and it's not even mining. Nothing's even mining there. But Nara has just an amazingly huge army, and you can see a very excellent plague there on these on those zealots. But those Reavers are going to be able to use the far range to take out that huge amount of sunkens over there. And this expansion seems like it will go down now. This game is really back and forth, but at this point I think Nara is just going to be able to prevail just because he has superior macro. Right now you see that Nara only is just trying to desperately get more expansions. Oh my god, here comes Nara. He's going to come in. He's going to kill all these Sunkens. These two expansions will probably go down for Oversky. Oversky desperately trying to do some more plagues. I have no idea where all the units for Oversky are. He only has 2 Ultras in his rally point. Nara is actually retreating because he does not want to lose more expansions, but this expansion looks like it'll go down anyways. It's a little too far away for Nara to save. There are a couple of Reavers here, but oh my god, Oversky actually needs to focus fire on that Nexus, but okay, it looks like Oversky is going to take out this. No, Oversky, really, I don't know what he's doing. He could have taken that expansion if he just focused fired on it for a second or two. But Oversky's macro is really poor. I have no idea where any of his units are. He has a very small army. You can see that Nara has just this amazingly huge army, and he has just only one base that has minerals left in it. And at this point, Oversky is going to reveal his other expansion to Nara. So at this point, I don't think there's anything that Oversky can do to win this back, unless he actually starts his macro back up and he gets a large enough army. It looks like he has a small army, however, in the middle of the map, but I'm not quite sure if that's enough to defeat all these units that Nara has, but that's actually a huge drop. So that's where all the units were. Anyways, this drop is going to be able to do a lot of damage, take out all the production buildings. It looks like Nara did scout that. Some storms going off on those overlords. If those overlords go down, this is serious. That's a lot of units going down in those overlords. Those overlords had probably maybe 16 zerglings in them, maybe 2 ultras. That's a lot. Oh my god, Dark Swarm's going off, but it's not going to do much because there's too many zealots anyways. Oh, actually there's no zealots anyways. These Archons are going to get owned because they do almost no damage under the swarm. Anyways, the zealots are here now though, and they are going to probably be able to defeat this army that Oversky has, even though these Archons do almost nothing under the swarm. Actually, I don't know for sure, but it looks like all those zealots did go down. This drop is actually okay. There's just too many Archons. Nara just has way too many units. He's sending... Oh my god, Oversky's sending more units, but these Archons are just going to kill those overlords right there. Very poor management there by Oversky. He's going to have to try something very good. It looks like another Templar drop over here. Reaver drop over here. So, at this point in time, Oversky is just not using his units properly. You can see that Nara is just really consistent with his units. He's always very good at them. You can see that Oversky really doesn't even have a good combination of units. He casts Dark Swarm, and it's not going to do anything anyways. And you see, Oversky just doesn't have enough units. He just only has ultras, and he doesn't have enough zerglings. Because the zerglings do most of the damage. You can see that Oversky is getting his army up though, but Nara still has a very huge amount of Archons, and that's actually a kind of bad combination because they do almost 0 damage under the Dark Swarm. I don't know if he's continuing to produce zealots, but I haven't seen his zealots. I've only seen his reavers, and it really depends at this point if Nara continues making those only. So anyways, here's some first-person VOD of both players, and there's just no room for errors right at this point. Oversky's just losing way too many units. Those Reavers, those High Templars, they're just really breaking his concentration. And you can see here that Nara really has great focus. As soon as those ultras were about to take out his reavers, he knew that he was going to unload them. He doesn't miss a beat. And it looks like all these drones are going to go down. If these drones go down, that'll be very bad for Oversky. But actually, the hatchery is going to go down. And Nara is just doing so much damage over here. Oversky just doesn't have enough concentration. There's a bunch of Scourge chasing those shuttles, and it'd be very beneficial to get those shuttles down because those have been annoying Oversky the entire game. But it looks like Nara is going to be able to get away. Oversky at this point has pretty much no drones mining from anywhere. I don't know where Oversky has his drone. There's his drones. But Oversky is going to continue trying to attack, but he's really not going to do much. There's too many Zealots, there's too many Archons, there's too many units at this point for Oversky to do anything. He had a huge advantage, but with really nice usage of units by Nara, he just lost that advantage. He just couldn't have a good macro when all of his drones were being massacred, and there's just storm drops everywhere, reaver drops everywhere. It just broke his concentration, and he didn't have enough units. When the first initial attack on his main came, he lost it, and that was pretty much the turning point of the game. Oversky really has no chance to get back in this game. He just doesn't have enough units. He doesn't have enough macro. He has a fairly large army at this point, but Nara will be able to replenish his army very, very quickly. And it'll take Oversky a much longer time to replenish his army. So I think that Oversky just made a few mistakes. He had very excellent scourge usage in the beginning, but he just wasn't able to cope with so many Templar drops. He probably could have used a few more scouts around the map so he'd be able to find out where those Templar drops were coming from. But he just doesn't have any drones now, doesn't have any proper mining expansions, and there will be one decisive battle, and I think that Oversky will lose once his army is destroyed. Finally, his expansion is back up, and Oversky is coming in with a lot of ultras. He only has ultras at this point, which is another mistake that he's been making. He hasn't been making any Zerglings. Zerglings are, even though they have low health,